Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our listeners from all over the world. I'm Barry Muller, filling in for Gideon. I'm super excited today to be having Omri on our podcast, our RevAmp podcast. Omri will be talking about on how to get listed in Salesforce's AppExchange, something that he ran and initiated at his company this past, I think even few weeks. It's fresh off the press. But first, before we get into the details, I wanted to ask Omri to introduce himself and the company that he works with. So Omri, take it away.
Thank you, Barry. So it's a pleasure. My name is Omri Shmueli, and I'm the business application and product manager in Otonomo. I'm an industrial engineer and specialized in information systems, working mostly in startup high-tech companies like SimilarWeb, Get, and now in Otonomo. Some hobbies, I like to surf and play volleyball on the beach. I'm not that good, but I'm getting better. A few sentences about Otonomo. So the official answer that is Otonomo is a mobility intelligence data platform. To make it simple, we are a one-stop shop for vehicle data and mobility intelligence. That means that we are a marketplace where businesses can find vehicle data and mobility analytics from multiple automakers and other data sources. We reshape and secure the data and make it useful as application-ready data for a variety of businesses or as insights.
Cool, awesome. And is it my understanding that Otonomo is on the stock market? Is that true?
Yes, we are listed in the Nasdaq.
All right, cool. So we got a large company, and Omri is leading the AppExchange. So let's get straight into that. I know maybe you could tell me about when the app was published on the AppExchange, and what even the app does on the AppExchange, and why you guys needed an app on the AppExchange. So we'll go for it.
All right. So the Otonomo app for Salesforce is an out-of-the-box integration between Salesforce, the CRM leader, and Otonomo, the data hub for mobility. Together, they unleash the potential of vehicle data. In more direct terms, that means that the organization of all silos can merge vehicle data with customer data to optimize the activity and provide the personalized services. A few sentences what the app can do. So it really depends on the customer needs and which data they need to build during customer journey. With the Otonomo app for Salesforce, among other things, you can get real-time vehicle status, as well monitor location and status for entire fleets. Our app works smoothly with the multiple data sources, enabling the fleet manager or other operation roles to enroll vehicle easily, reduce costs, create new opportunities, and manage driver and vehicles in one place in Salesforce.
So before this app, were people doing this outside of Salesforce? Was there a lot of importing and exporting? What was the business case before the app was available for your users?
So as a data company, we enable data for businesses. So most of our customers consume the data through API or through Otonomo platform. But now they can inject the data directly to the CRM.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So I guess the process beforehand would have been that they would use an API and it would go into like a Google Excel, or maybe they would configure the API into Salesforce even. And the developers would have to work extra time on making sure that it would go into Salesforce properly. But now, just with a few clicks of a button, they have the app, which is in the AppExchange, makes it easier for people to start working, to even avoid using an API, I guess. Is that correct? Is this replacing the API?
Yeah, exactly. So exactly as you described it.
Okay, perfect. So obviously the use case is it sounds pretty simple. The goal is to make your customers' lives easier. And now you also can use the AppExchange for people to find this data. So it's not just for your customers, but for potential new customers to use as a distribution channel, if you will. for them to understand what your app is and what the data you guys sell. Okay, cool, perfect. And is this the first CRM integration your team has?
Yes, this is the first integration that we have.
So let's talk about why did you guys so we had talked about the importance of the ISV. Was this something that you brought to the table? Is this something that when you were hired, you knew was going to be part of your initiative? Tell me about your story and launching this app on the AppExchange.
Okay, good question. So actually, when hire me, they don't. We don't think that we're going to list it on the AppExchange. But few weeks after I was hired, I get invitation from the VP product and the CEO, and they tell me about the flirt that going between Salesforce and Otonomo. And I join in and understand, try to think with them together how we can engage and create a partnership for this from this conversation. And so as a geek of information system, I really believe that the best home for data is a great information system. So a system without data won't get you the insights that you're looking for, and data needs a home, a place that it can be played with and converted into insight. So it was really quick understanding that the combination of the two, the data and flexible information system, will create a significant value for the businesses.
Mm-hmm. Cool. That's super interesting. So what did you think your role was going to be before you moved to this position, or if you will, this amount of time that you needed to help launch this? What did you think you were going to be mostly working internally with your own customers, with your own employees?
So I hired to manage the information system in Otonomo and focusing the Salesforce internally. So I joined to this conversation as a Salesforce expert and to bring the value from this perspective. But in this process, I became the product manager of this product and get all the support from our VP product Matan that give me the opportunity to take it to the next step.
Cool. I love that, because I'll be honest, Omri, I wanted to focus on the app and the AppExchange, but just hearing your story is super interesting. And I think would be interesting to our listeners that you can start thinking, you can come in as a Salesforce expert and do so much more for your company. Not that to take away from being a Salesforce expert and doing all the complicated things internally, but that you can also be working for external facing customers. And I think that's super interesting. Did your team need to hire another person to take on your workload because you became the product manager for this, or is this something that could complement your current workload of being the Salesforce expert and managing Salesforce internally?
No, as a startup, we can. It's really nature that one employee can do both. It's really common. I think we can find it's another role in Otonomo and other companies that similar to us, that people get more responsibility, and it's very common.
Mm-hmm. So less hiring, but maybe more working more at night. So, okay, cool. I love this. So I'm just going through. So the teams that you worked with were the CEO and the product manager, the VP product Matan. Who else on your team or internally were you working with to launch this? I assume maybe some marketing, but maybe not. Maybe here, spread. Let me know.
So it's a great question, and it's was a great collaboration between all the teams. We have a fleet and data expert in the sales department that help us to understand the need from the customer point of view. I worked with a lot of director of personal data products to understand what will be the best way to use our APIs, which feature are most important, and how we can make it scalable. Since we had need to for this project a Salesforce developer for R&D, we use an official partner of Salesforce, specialized in AppExchange development called Cinebo. I really like to work with them. And I have to say that the work with the marketing team on the marketing material was the most fun for me, especially to work on the videos that you have to watch.
Yeah, team marketing.
Yeah. But we cannot do it without the full support of Ben, our founder and CEO, who push it all the way in all channels.
All right, I love that. So it's top. It's with a lot of digital transformation. You need the CEO's support, but it was really cross-channel. And I'm sure that the teams appreciated seeing both sides of you, like helping maybe fill out some fields on Salesforce, but then also helping bring something to market. And I think that's super cool from that point of view. Okay, and then on Salesforce, who did you need to work with on the Salesforce team to launch this?
So basically, Salesforce has a complete organization servicing its partners. They have built a comprehensive and detailed journey with many opportunities to promote your app across the Salesforce ecosystem. It's up to you to define how much time, energy, and other resources you want to apply this process. We work with the local and global teams, ranging from strategic advisor, ISV partner, and industry leaders, which help me to navigate the Salesforce hallways. Out of this scope, we got really great support from the product and the industry team in the global Salesforce that share with us the market understanding, the roadmap, thoughts, and more. We really create a valuable relationship with those great people in the past year.
Cool, awesome. And okay, cool. So then I guess now we get to go through like the main steps. Maybe we can even talk about timeline and like what were the steps on how to become part of the AppExchange. And obviously a successful launch on the AppExchange, not just to put something out there that doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. So we started with putting an effort into 3 parallel lines. The first one is from a need to a product. We had to understand exactly what the problem are we trying to solve with this app, who will want to use this, which personas, and what are unique value. After understanding this part, we moved forward to translate the need into technical requirements and decided which feature to focus on. The second was to initiate the registration to the partner portal of Salesforce and to learn the Salesforce resources for this process. And there is a lot. So the last one is to kick off the process with the marketing and the legal, engage them with the relevant resources like the marketing guidelines and the partner agreement. And my tips for this kind of project is before taking ownership of any task, make sure that you are the right person to do it in the company. And if not, let the best one to do it. Everyone like to do what they are doing the best. And the outcomes are better for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. So, and then what was the timeline on that? Like, was this a 10-day project, a 10-month project, a 10-year project? Give us a ballpark for that.
So the process took a year, including the investigation and the design, development, security review, and marketing effort. I can give you a clue, Barry, that the security review is the longest part.
Really? Okay, cool. Good to know. And that security review, who's managing that? Meaning that's Salesforce security on your product, or that's your team doing a security protocol on Salesforce?
So actually, it's related to Salesforce. You submit your application for security review, and Salesforce, there is a group that I think, from my understanding, that's outsourced of Salesforce that's reviewing your application. And once they find something that failed your app, you failed. But they don't give you the all failed in once. You correct them and come back. So next time you can submit the application after you correct everything from your perspective, but they find a new thing so that you want to aware of. So,
wow. Okay. So like that's the long process. It's just that it's a submit it 10 days, then you get back the response, submit it 10 days, then you have to start all over, kind of that back and forth. Okay.
Yeah, I suggest to put, when you manage this project, to put a buffer for 6 months at least, for only for the security review.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So if someone wants to launch something quickly, then they either need to submit a really simple product or just not launch very quickly. Because it sounds impossible to do an app exchange. It's also good for the users of the app exchange that they know that they can trust it.
Exactly.
So there is some goodness to that, because then the trust goes up once there are thorough reviews. But definitely, it doesn't sound like it can be a quick review or quick something that you could just put on the app store, the app exchange, excuse me. Okay, so then what would be considered a success for your company? You launched, when did you guys launch on the app exchange? Or when did marketing at least launch the product?
So we're excited with many levels regarding this potential of benefits for our partnership with Salesforce, ranging from the wide adoption of the application and strong marketing and sales partnership, and of course the future technical development and large satisfied customer base.
Tell me, what else could you tell yourself if you started this initiative, let's say tomorrow, at a different company or even another app for the exchange? What do you wish you could tell yourself before you started this?
Okay, so before submitting the app for the security review, I make sure that I checked many times that I didn't forget any comments in the code lines, and we remove everything and to submit it like ready for without failing. So this one I will take.
Yeah. Well, Omri, this was awesome. I learned a lot about you. I learned a lot about the company and the app exchange. I think hopefully other people that are interested in the app exchange will get access to this podcast. If you're listening to this and you have a friend that is maybe thinking about launching the app exchange, you have to send this to them so that they are prepared for the security review and so that they understand what they're getting themselves into, but also to give them the confidence that it's worth it in the end. So Omri, thanks again. Looking forward to staying in touch, and yeah, congrats on launching on the app exchange.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you so much. You are awesome. Thank you for having me here.
And my pleasure. All right. See you.
See you. Bye bye.